Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Vader for another week of distance learning yoga. We're going to start today with a body scan meditation. So, some of you will remember we've done this before. It's a great way to do a couple of things. First, it's a good way to get yourself to sleep if you're having a hard time falling asleep. It distracts your brain enough so that you can clear out those thoughts and relax your body and your minds. And it's also another great way to just get yourself in the present moment, push out those monkey mind thoughts that are either about something that's already happened or something that hasn't happened. So find a comfortable spot. Ideally, you're lying down, but you can also sit in a nice, comfortable spot. I'm sitting on a meditation cushion. You can either be in Sukhasana, like I am right here, easy pose, or another great one is Virasana. And I have my knees touching, my heels are on either side of my hips. I'm going to have my phone here so I make sure I am staying on track time wise. So, wherever you are, make sure you're comfortable. Close your eyes, keep your body still. Feel your body get heavy, weighted into the ground. If you're lying down, you should just feel everything melting into the floor. If you're seated, just make sure you are letting everything fall, everything rest onto the floor. All your weight is moving downward. So, with eyes closed, we're going to start with our feet. So this is an exercise in using your mind's eye, meaning we're not actually looking at this with our eyeballs, we're imagining it in our heads. So without touching the body parts we're going to scan, without moving them, we just want to picture them in our mind's eye. So we're starting with our feet. So picture your feet. Imagine where they are, where they're making contact with the floor, how they feel. Picture your toes, your heels, your arches. And then watch as they float off into the sky or whatever visual you want. Maybe they just sort of disappear. Maybe they disappear in sparkly light, whatever makes the most sense. And we're going to move up the body. We're going to go a little faster than normal just because we don't have a ton of time. Let's move up to our kneecaps. So picture your knees, where they are, what they feel like without moving them. Are they touching the floor? Are they not touching the floor? If you have pants on, can you feel the fabric against your knees? And then let your kneecaps just float away. It sounds strange, but we're going to move up to our hips. Maybe your hips are making contact with the floor. Maybe you're seated. What do they feel like? Picture where they are in space. Let them float off into the sky. Move up to your belly. Can you feel your belly lift and lower as you inhale and exhale? Can you feel the fabric of your shirt resting on your belly? If you're lying down, maybe you feel your stomach rumbling. Just bring all of your attention to your belly. Clear out all those other thoughts. We're going to move up to our shoulders, and here we're going to do a little something different. Instead of like we've done with everything else, we're going to just check in with our shoulders and lower them away from your ears. I think you might notice that your shoulders probably crept up a little closer to your ears, so just move them back down. And then imagine, bring all of your attention to your shoulders. Picture them in your mind's eye. And then let your shoulders float away into the sky, whatever you're imagining. Just move up to, we're going to move all the way up to the tops of our heads. Focus all your attention on the crown of your head, very tip top of your head. And we're going to let that float away. We're just going to take a couple of mindful breaths here. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Try and gauge what your body feels like. Are you warm? Are you cold? Are you comfortable? Do you hear sounds other than my voice? Are you inside? Are you outside? You know, some of my friends are outside. You could probably hear the birds, get your street noises. Maybe you hear your siblings or your parents. And then we're going to come back out slowly and gently. So like when we come out of Shavasana, we're going to wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Draw your knees in towards your chest, wrap your arms around your knees, give yourself a big hug. Roll, if you're on your back, roll over to one side. Push yourself up to a seat. If you're already seated, stay where you are. We're going to slowly open our eyes. And we are going to come to our tabletop. So on all fours, fingertips are spread wide like starfish. Move your toes are tucked, move your knees back a little bit. Inhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Let's walk our dogs out a little bit. Lengthen our calf muscles. So bending one knee at a time, then the other. I always hate doing downward dog in my room because I can see all the dust underneath my bed that I need to get to. And now we're going to step or hop to the front of your mat or your space. We're going to be in a forward fold. I'm going to turn. And let's do ragdoll here. So in your forward fold, hold on to opposite elbows, and maybe sway your torso from side to side. Letting your whole torso float down. Let everything go, all the muscle tension. Now bring your hands to your hips. Push into your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Nicely done. We're going to do a side stretch here. So standing with Feet parallel, toes are pointed straight ahead. We're gonna inhale, arms up to the sky. Clasp your hands, palms up to the sky. So your arms are on either side of your ears. You're standing up nice and tall. Try and move your shoulders away from your ears. And you're gonna lean to one side. So I'm over to my right, but it's gonna be to the left as you're watching it. So either side, you can move to your left. Just make sure you switch sides. So push your hips out. So for me, I'm gonna push my hips out, and I'm gonna lean further into my stretch so that I can feel this all the way up the side of my body. And I'm gonna push into my feet. I'm gonna come back up to center, and I'm gonna go over to the left or to the right as it looks on your screen. And come back up to center. We're gonna do one on each side, one more on each side. Back up to center. And over to the other side. Come back up to center. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, now we're going to come to a wide-legged stance. So bring your feet wide. Toes are pointed straight ahead. So see if you can bring your feet as far apart as you can. You want a really wide stance, but you don't want it to hurt. You do want to have a little bit of a stretch in your inner thighs. And you're going to clasp your hands. You're going to make snowball hands behind your back. You're going to stand up nice and tall. So your back is nice and straight. Shoulder blades hugging together on your backs. Shoulders away from your ears. You're going to hinge at your hips. So you're going to keep your upper body in a nice straight line as you hinge forward. And then you've got your hands clasped back here on your lower back. So we want to get a little bit of stretch here. So start to bring your hands away from your body and see how far away from your body you can get your hands. Hugging your shoulder blades together on your back is going to make for a better shoulder and chest stretch. You should also feel this in your inner thighs. If you can, and you want to try this, you can widen your stance and see if you can bring your head to the floor. If that sounds crazy, don't worry about it. And unclasp your hands, bring them to the floor in front of you. And now you're going to walk your hands over to one side. So why don't you walk them over to the right? You can hold on to your right ankle. And see if you can look up over your right shoulder. Keeping your legs straight. And hands back to the center. Walk them over to your left foot. You can hold on to your left ankle, looking up over your left shoulder. And bring your hands back to center. And you may step or walk your feet together. Knees bent or straight. And come all the way up. Arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to do a couple sun salutations. So if you have a yoga mat, I went to the back of my yoga mat. Come to the front of your yoga mat. Find your mountain pose. So feet are 2 fist distance apart. You can measure that if you want, or if you know what that is, go ahead and do that. Shoulders down away from your back, your shoulders down away from your ears, shoulder blades hugging together on your back, palms facing forward, strong legs, strong arms. Good. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And I'm gonna need to watch out for my closet doors here. But you're gonna open up, swan dive down to the floor and forward fold. Legs are straight or knees are bent, whatever feels the most comfortable to you. And then inhale, hands to shins for Ardha Uttanasana or half forward fold. You're gonna plant your hands and you're gonna step back to a plank. And we'll stay here, strong arms, strong legs. And lower your knees, lower your chest, untuck your toes, hands on either side of your chest, pushing into the tops of your feet, pushing into your hands, pushing your hips into the mat or into the floor. Inhale up for cobra. Shoulders away from your ears, shoulder blades together on your back. And go ahead and do a snake breath if you'd like to. Otherwise, you're going to just lower slowly back down to the mat. Tuck your toes. Push back to puppy pose, looking out over your fingertips. And lift up and back to downward facing dog. Step or hop forward to the front of your mat. Push into your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Nice job for first round of sun salutations. Let's do another one. We're going to add a little something here. Looks like my laptop is coming unplugged. Okay. Let's see if that keeps in there. All right. So inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, open up, swan dive down to the floor. Knees bent, knees straight, either one. Inhale, hands to shins, Ardha Uttanasana. And plant your hands, step back to a plank. And we're gonna inhale up to a downward facing dog. Legs are straight and strong, hips are up towards the sky. And come back to a plank. Strong arms, strong legs. Inhale back up to downward facing dog. And back to plank again. We're going to do that one more time. Up to downward facing dog. And back to a plank. Now lower your knees. Lower your chest. Untuck your toes. I'm going to check time again. Okay. Hands on either side of your chest. Pushing into the tops of your feet. Pushing into your hands. Pushing into your hips. And inhale up for cobra. Shoulders down. Shoulder blades together on your back. Snake breath if you want. Otherwise, just lower back down. Tuck your toes, push into your hands, and back towards puppy pose. Your chest, your sternum is making its way down towards the floor, looking out over your fingertips. And back up to downward facing dog. Step or hop forward to the front of your mat. Push into your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, I'm going to turn just for a little change of scenery. And we're going to do one more round. Okay. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, open up, swan dive down to the floor. Inhale, hands to shins, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to a plank. And let's lower all the way down instead of knees, chest, chin. So bend your elbows and slowly lower your body all the way down. Don't just plop down. If you plop down, I want you to do that again. So here we go. Bending elbows, lowering slowly down. Untuck your toes. Pushing into your hands. Shoulders away from ears. Pushing into the tops of your feet, pushing into your hands. Inhale up for cobra. Shoulder blades tucked together on your back. And lower down. Maybe you added a snake breath there. Tuck your toes, push into your hands, hips back, and looking out over your fingertips for puppy pose. Inhale up and back, downward facing dog. We'll take a nice deep breath here. So inhale to the count of 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now walk or hop to bringing your feet to your hands. Push into your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, nicely done for our 3 rounds of sun salutations. This is a tricky one. I took a yoga class this weekend. It's the first time I've taken a class in a really long time. I don't do well with virtual yoga classes. Sorry, everybody. So I haven't done a lot of classes, but I did get to go to an in-person class, and we did a lot of this next pose. So it's a pose that doesn't really come that easily to me, which means it's something I probably need to work on a little bit. So we're gonna do this together, and we're gonna not expect perfection. We're gonna just do the best we can and see what happens. So I wanna show you, we've done this before when we were in person, but it's been a while. So why don't you watch me first, and then we'll all do it together. So remember, we're watching, we're not doing. So I'm actually going to use something. I would normally have a yoga block if I were in the yoga studio, but I don't have my yoga blocks with me. So I'm going to use my meditation cushion. So I'm going to stand here with that out in front of me. Actually, I'm going to give myself a little space. And I'm going to step my right foot forward with my right hand. I'm going to lower down to my meditation cushion. I'm already having struggles here. And then I'm going to lift that left leg up, and I'm going to open up my hips. And so my left leg, my left arm are reaching up. And whoa. And I didn't keep it. So if you look, watch, this is hips not stacked. This is hips stacked. Okay, let's do that together. All right, feet are parallel. Step forward with your right foot. Take your right hand. You're either going to have something in front of you, like my cushion or a yoga mat block, or you're just going to go to the floor, whatever works. And you're going to lean forward, lower that hand. Top leg lifts up. Open up. Whoa. And arm up to the sky. And if you fall down out of the pose, just go back up into it again. This is half moon. And let's lower, and let's just forget that side ever happened. And we're going to focus on doing the other side. I'm going to switch here. Let's give it a try. Some days these things work, some days they don't. So today happens to be not a great balance day for me, but maybe this side will be better. That's the joy of yoga. There's always another side. So we're going to have our feet parallel. I'm going to step my left foot forward. I'm going to reach forward with my left hand. I'm going to launch myself up. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to get a little help from my closet door here. So I can do really a much prettier version of this. So I've got that top leg, my right leg lifted. I'm going to open up, and my right arm is going to reach up to the sky. For those of you who feel like maybe this isn't challenging enough, that's crazy, but maybe there are those of you out there, you can, I'm going to try this and it's probably not going to work. You can bend that top leg and you can hold on to your foot. And that did not work, but give it a try. But if you can, look up to your fingertips, or maybe you look down Either way, and here's the crazy thing we did in our class the other day. Just a thought, you can maybe try it. But we went from half moon to dancer. You know what? I can't even do it. So we're not going to do that today. All right. Lower. Ta-da. Okay. Let's lower all the way. Let's come to a seat. Let me check my time. Ooh, I got hustle here. Okay. We're going to lower down to our bellies here. And all the way down. We're going to bend one knee. Hopefully you can see me, yeah. Bend one knee. So I'm bending my right knee. I'm going to reach back with my right hand, hold on to my ankle. Bend my left leg, reach back with my left hand, hold my left ankle. And then I'm going to kick my feet into my hands. Keeping my knees not too far apart, not too close together. And I'm going to lift up as much of my body as I can off the mat or off the floor, wherever you are. This is bow pose. And lower down. So on your stomach here, just move your hips from side to side. That should feel kind of nice. And then we're going to do one more bow pose. Hopefully my friend Grisha is out there and watching this, because if some of you who were in his class remember that this was his favorite pose. All right, let's do it again. Then one knee, reach back with that hand, hold on to the ankle. Then the other knee, reach back, hold on to both ankles, kick into your hands, lift your torso up, lift your thighs up off the mat. And lower down. Roll onto your backs, boys and girls. Sit, but you are going to take your Shavasana. So you're going to lay down all the way, legs straight out in front of you, arms by your sides, palms facing up. And maybe our lesson for today is that it doesn't matter how much we practice something. We have days where it comes really easily to us. We have days where it's a bit of a struggle, but we keep on, we persevere. I think some of you have learned that word this year in school. We persevere. I was able to do half moon the other day when I took my yoga class, but today it was all wonky. It was falling all over the place. But I know I can do it, so I just need to persevere. Tomorrow may be better, or it may be worse, but it's going to come together. And if I keep working at it, I'm going to eventually get the hang of it. But I need to understand that some days it's going to be harder. Anyway, that's a lot of blathering on, but eyes are closed, bodies are still. Let everything relax. All of your muscles relax. Let everything get heavy. Think about clearing out some of those monkey mind thoughts. Obviously, we're not going to get them all out of there, but the more we can focus on what is happening right this moment, not what happened 5 minutes ago. Like for me, I need to not think about that half moon pose that I fell out of multiple times and just think about how I feel in my body right now. Think about relaxing my body. Think about clearing out those thoughts. Think about what I'm feeling in this exact moment in time. All right, because when I went a little over today, so we're going to come out of this sort of quickly, but we're going to start to wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, draw your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your knees, give yourself a hug, roll gently over to one side, push yourself so you're sitting back up again in a nice comfortable seat. And we will close out with a breath together. But first, maybe you want to try some of these poses on your own. And if you struggled with something, maybe give it a try on your own when you're by yourself, in your room. See if you focus on what you're doing right in that moment and not thinking about anything before or after. See if you find that the pose comes a little easier to you. I know that I'm going to try that myself. So let's inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart for Anjali Mudra. Bring your hands to your forehead to remember kind thoughts. And those kind thoughts need to be directed towards ourselves and to others. Hands to your mouth to remember kind words. Hands to your heart to remember kind actions. And namaste, boys and girls. I will see you next week. Have a good week. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or requests. Bye.